I am deeply aware of this great inheritance and of the duties and heavy responsibilities of sovereignty.
King Charles has just unleashed the most devastating royal bombshell in modern history. A revelation so explosive it has ripped the mask off Camilla's entire carefully constructed world and left her standing in the ruins of her own ambitions. In a tense, dimly lit private chamber deep inside Buckingham Palace, with the weight of centuries pressing down on every word, the king summoned his final reserves of strength and delivered the shattering last-minute declaration that will echo through the monarchy forever. All the crowns belong to Catherine, not Camilla. Those 12 words, spoken with quiet but ironclad finality, have stripped Camilla of everything she has spent more than 2 decades scheming, manipulating, lying, and fighting tooth and nail to seize for herself. The sacred crowns, the historic diadems, the priceless symbols of queenship that represent the very soul of the British monarchy have been torn from her grasp in one irreversible moment and placed firmly into the hands of Princess Catherine. This is not a small family spat over a few pieces of jewelry. This is a full-scale constitutional earthquake that redraws the future of the entire royal family, protects the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Diana, and delivers the ultimate justice to the woman who has endured years of silent sabotage. King Charles, despite his ongoing health battles, opened a sealed envelope that had remained untouched since his mother's final days and read aloud the late Queen's most explosive secret directive. The document, handwritten by Queen Elizabeth II herself on her deathbed, left absolutely no room for doubt, no room for negotiation, and no room for Camilla's endless excuses. It stated in the clearest possible language that the crowns of this realm must never rest on the head of a woman who had betrayed the crown from within. They belong solely and exclusively to Catherine, the one royal who has consistently demonstrated true grace under fire, true loyalty to the institution, and the heart of a genuine future queen. Palace insiders who were physically present in that chamber described the atmosphere as electric, with shock and disbelief. The room fell into a stunned, heavy silence that felt like it lasted an eternity. Camilla, who had been hovering impatiently just outside the heavy double doors, expecting yet another private triumph in her long-running war for power, was immediately summoned inside. When she stepped across the threshold, her usual confident posture already slightly faltering, King Charles looked her directly in the eyes without hesitation and repeated the crushing sentence once more. All the crowns belong to Catherine, not Camilla. His voice remained calm and measured, but the authority and finality behind every syllable were stronger than any royal decree issued in decades. Camilla's face drained of all color in an instant, turning a ghostly shade of white that made her look suddenly frail and exposed. Her hands balled into fists so tightly that her knuckles stood out bone white against her skin. She opened her mouth, clearly preparing to launch into the kind of smooth, calculated protest she had used so effectively in the past to bend situations back to her advantage. But King Charles raised one trembling yet resolute hand and cut her off with a single devastating sentence that will be quoted in royal history books for generations to come. "You have taken enough from this family. You will take no more." The silence that swallowed the room afterward was heavier than any crown ever forged in the royal workshops. No one dared breathe too loudly. No one dared speak. Camilla stood frozen in place, realizing in that single heartbeat that her decades-long campaign to rewrite the rules of the monarchy to suit her own ambitions had just collapsed completely around her. Princess Anne, who had been urgently summoned by her brother only minutes earlier, stood shoulder to shoulder with King Charles throughout the entire confrontation. Her eyes burned with the fire of someone who had warned the family repeatedly for years about Camilla's insatiable greed, her secret midnight movements of priceless artifacts out of the royal vaults, and her relentless behind-the-scenes efforts to sideline Prince William and Princess Catherine at every possible opportunity. Now the irrefutable proof of the late Queen's final wishes was right there in front of everyone in black and white. Anne stepped forward without a moment's pause and delivered her own cold, unflinching verdict in a voice that carried the full authority of her mother's legacy. Mother's final wish is law. Catherine will wear the crowns, and you will step back. Those words landed like hammer blows, leaving Camilla with no defense, no allies in the room, and no path forward except retreat. Word of the revelation traveled through secure private channels to Prince William and Princess Catherine within minutes. Sources who are extremely close to the couple report that Catherine was visibly overcome with emotion when the news reached her. Tears welled in her eyes as she absorbed the magnitude of what King Charles had just done on her behalf. For years, she had quietly endured Camilla's public slights, her private acts of sabotage, her carefully worded insults delivered with a smile, and her repeated attempts to push both Catherine and her 3 children further and further to the margins of royal life. Now the late Queen Elizabeth II herself had personally chosen Catherine as the rightful guardian of the most powerful and symbolic pieces of royal regalia. It was a moment of profound, deeply personal vindication after everything she had borne with such dignified silence and strength. Prince William, according to palace staff who witnessed his immediate reaction in private, clenched his fist in a rare display of quiet but fierce triumph. He had waited years for the day when his wife's position, her dignity, and the future security of their family would finally be shielded once and for all from the woman who had once actively tried to disinherit him and reshape the line of succession to favor her own side of the family. The practical consequences of this bombshell are already moving at lightning speed behind the palace walls. Teams of the highest-level royal lawyers have been activated around the clock, and a brand new ironclad royal warrant is being prepared for immediate signature. This warrant will officially transfer full legal ownership and custody of some of the most priceless and historically significant treasures in the entire royal collection directly into Princess Catherine's hands. The list is staggering. The Cambridge Emerald Tiara with its flawless Colombian emeralds that once belonged to Queen Mary. The Spencer Tiara that Princess Diana wore with such unforgettable elegance during countless state occasions. The Queen Mother's Burmese ruby crown, set with over 100 rubies personally gifted by the people of Burma. The dazzling Greville Tiara with its honeycomb design of diamonds. The Oriental circlet that has graced queens for more than 150 years, the Strathmore Rose Tiara, the Delhi Durbar Tiara, and at least 7 additional historic diadems that have symbolized queenship across multiple reigns. Every single one of these pieces is being permanently removed from any possible access by Camilla and secured under new protocols that only Catherine can authorize. Royal security teams have already begun the process of locking down the vaults, changing access codes, and installing additional surveillance to guarantee that no further unauthorized removals can ever occur again. King Charles has taken the protection even further by quietly signing a secret codicil to his own will in recent days. This unbreakable final safeguard explicitly removes any possible future claim Camilla might attempt to assert should anything happen to him. The document contains one chilling, crystal-clear line that leaves absolutely nothing open to interpretation. Under no circumstances shall Camilla Parker Bowles ever wear, inherit, borrow, or display any crown, tiara, or piece of regalia intended for the future Queen Catherine. This is far more than a personal family decision. It is a deliberate constitutional-level correction designed to protect the legacies of both Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Diana, while ensuring the monarchy moves forward under the guidance of the individuals the late Queen trusted most. A senior royal aide, speaking on condition of strict anonymity to a trusted source immediately after the chamber meeting concluded, captured the prevailing mood inside the palace with perfect clarity. Today, the real queen consort was chosen, and it wasn't the one who has been sitting on the throne, pretending to hold that title all this time. Those words perfectly reflect the quiet but profound sense of relief and moral clarity that has swept through the royal household in the hours since the revelation. The masks have finally been removed. The truth has been spoken aloud by the monarch himself. The crowns belong unequivocally to Catherine, and no amount of past scheming, no number of hidden backroom deals, and no amount of pressure from Camilla's extended family will ever be able to alter that reality again. In the coming days and weeks, the palace will be a hive of controlled but intense activity as the official transfer is prepared and announced. Questions remain about how Camilla will respond. Will she attempt one final desperate public fight through carefully placed media leaks or sympathetic interviews? Will she try to spin the narrative in her favor by claiming misunderstanding or undue influence? Or will she finally be forced to accept that her long game of quiet power accumulation has ended in complete and total defeat? Whatever path she chooses, the royal family has drawn an unmistakable line in the sand. The crowns have spoken. The late queen has spoken from beyond the grave, and King Charles has delivered the message with a level of finality that cannot be ignored or overturned. Princess Catherine now stands as the officially chosen guardian of these historic symbols of queenship, ready to carry the monarchy forward into its next era with the same dignity, compassion, and strength that Queen Elizabeth II always believed she possessed. Prince William has received the reassurance he has fought so hard to secure for his wife and their 3 children. Princess Anne has witnessed years of her quiet, persistent warnings, finally vindicated in the most dramatic fashion possible. And King Charles, in what may well prove to be one of the most significant and lasting acts of his entire reign, has ensured that his mother's final wishes are respected to the letter and that the future of the crown remains exactly where it was always intended to be, in the right hands. The entire world is watching this extraordinary chapter unfold with rapt attention. The palace walls are trembling with the aftershocks of the decision. The internal balance of power inside the royal family has shifted permanently and irrevocably. And the crowns, those timeless emblems of duty, dignity, destiny, and devotion, have finally found their true and rightful home with the woman who was always meant to wear them. Catherine, not Camilla. The revelation is complete. The decision is final. The monarchy will never, ever be the same again. Every detail of this seismic shift will continue to emerge in the days ahead, and the consequences will ripple far beyond the walls of Buckingham Palace. The public, already fascinated by the ongoing royal dynamics, will soon see the visible changes as Catherine begins to appear with the historic pieces that were always destined for her. Camilla's carefully cultivated image of quiet dignity will face its greatest test yet, as the truth of her thwarted ambitions becomes impossible to hide. The late Queen's wisdom, once again, has proven to be the guiding light that the family needed in its most vulnerable hour. King Charles has done what he believes is right, and in doing so, he has secured not only his mother's legacy, but the stability and integrity of the institution he has spent his life preparing to lead. This is the moment that royal watchers have been waiting for, the moment when justice, truth, and the late Queen's final wishes finally prevail over years of quiet maneuvering and hidden agendas. The crowns belong to Catherine. The future belongs to Catherine. And the chapter of Camilla's unchecked influence has closed for good. The royal family stands at the threshold of a new era, one defined by the values Queen Elizabeth II held most dear and protected by the very woman she personally chose to carry them forward. The revelation has been made. the line has been drawn, and the crowns have found their forever home.